I'm Jason Schuster, and I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I own Intricate Art Spine and Body Solutions. It's a continuing education company. We teach medical practitioners, practicing doctors, how to do a couple things, including dry needling, joint manipulation, and we just came out with a new series on nutrition, supplementation, vitamin deficiency, peptide therapy, and how they all affect the epigenome. So, one of the things that we go over in this class or in these classes is this NOVA classification of processed foods. So this is one of the most highly cited systems of classifying processed foods. There's certainly issues with all systems of classification, but this is one that does a pretty decent job. And the main reason that I like this one is it's a really easy thing to give to patients, right? So if your patients, and most patients are completely unaware of what good food actually is, including most medical practitioners, which is scary. But this is a pretty easy thing to give to your patients to show them what they should be eating. So more or less, there's four groups in this list. And more or less, you want to eat as much stuff off of group one and as little stuff off of group four as you can. So group one and two would be better than group three and four, right? So one is unprocessed or minimally processed foods. Group two is oils, fats, salt, and sugar, right? So sugar should not be a part of anybody's diet. You should limit sugar. All added sugar you should limit. Added sugar is poison to human beings, right? One of the things that does allow our body to process sugar properly is fiber, and that's one of the reasons that eating whole fruit is not bad for you, but drinking fruit juice is, right? Because you get a lot of the sugar and no fiber. And we go over a lot of this stuff in our online nutrition classes. And then for the next list, we have group three, processed food. So you want to stay away from stuff on there, more or less. Now, again, when you say processed foods, just because something is in a can doesn't mean it's bad for you, right? So canned beans, stuff like that, totally fine. Beef jerky and stuff like that, not great. Lots of chemicals in it, but there's some stuff on there that's okay. And then list four, you really want to try to avoid at all costs, right? So ultra processed food is probably the number one leading causer of all disease and impairment in the United States, right? Heart disease and cardiovascular issues are the number one leading killer in the United States, and eating processed food is a fast track to give yourself heart disease because it's alien substances that the body is not used to processing, right? Processed foods have only been around, like ultra processed foods have really only been around for about 50 or 70 years. Human beings have been around planet Earth for hundreds of thousands of years, right? So just evolutionarily speaking, our bodies have not had time, and nor will they ever learn to adjust to this alien toxic substances, right? So processed food is about as far from actual food. It's not even, shouldn't even be considered food, right? It's more like eating garbage. But this is a really, really good thing to pass out to your patients, just to give them kind of a brief rundown of what foods are better to eat and what foods are not better to eat. I've included the link down here below. And again, if you like this information and you want to learn a whole lot more about this stuff, check out our 5-course online series in nutrition, supplementation, vitamin deficiency, peptide therapy, and how they all affect the epigenome.